All right. Well, lovely team. Welcome to the team call. I'm so glad to see you guys on. I know sometimes this is an awkward time in the middle of the day. And anyway, so I'm always so happy to see you guys on. And also welcome to any of you watching the recording. I'm glad that you guys are tuning in via recording. So anyways, today is Thursday, the 10th of March. So we are a third of the way through the month. So I want to give a couple shout outs. There's already some people who are who have helped people this month, which is always exciting. I always love to acknowledge when one of us sell a challenge pack, because that's one life that we've helped, and I think that's exciting and that needs to be celebrated. So shout out to Rebecca. She's actually a brand new coach. She's on the call. I don't even know, Rebecca, if you're there. I can't see your picture, but I see your name. So she signed up to be a coach like a week or two ago, and so she sold her first challenge pack, and she's already has the girl in a challenge group, and so congrats to you, Rebecca. Also a shout out to Marina, Angel, Lorraine Holsey, and Shannon Bomarito. All have helped people already this month. And then also Shannon isn't on, Shannon Bomarito. She's going to hop on a little late, but if you guys, when you guys see her, be sure to congratulate her, because she also advanced her business to Emerald, and she's been a coach for less than a month. So that's very exciting. That's kind of your first big step in where you're making more money. You're not just getting commission, you're also getting those team cycle bonuses, which are always like awesome. So that's really cool. So congrats to you guys. You guys know our specials for the month. I know I don't really need to go over, but we have Payo, we have 3-day refresh, and then we also have the brand new 22-minute hardcore. So if you guys haven't yet, I would recommend, like, that's a group, a program that's going to appeal to a lot of people. I mean, it's 22 minutes, and the eating plan is very straightforward. It's your 21-day fixed containers. It's simple, which appeals to a lot of people. So I debated, like, should I do a test group? And then I figured, you know what, I'll put it out there and just, you know, whatever. So I did a big video. I got a little bit of it. And then last night, you guys have my schedule. So you guys know I was going to do a big invite last night. So I just did a simple, you guys probably saw it, a short little, if you could work out from home for 22 minutes a day for 8 weeks, would you do it? Yes or no? And that got so many comments. Everyone was like, yeah, like, of course, why wouldn't you? So if you guys want to copy, and you guys can totally steal that script. I've seen a couple other coaches use it, and I kind of changed it a little bit to fit me. But now I'm going to message all those people, and I'll say, I don't know if you were being serious when you said yes, but in case you were being serious, I'm actually doing a group. That's exactly what I described in that status. And then I'm going to send them. I have a blog post that I wrote up about kind of the details. But if I didn't, then I would just say, like, so do you want more information on it? I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be whatever. Like, I would love to have you join that type of thing. So if you guys, like, why not? You might as well just try it. Like I said, that program is going to appeal to a lot of people, because that short 22 minutes, and I did it today with my Fit Club, and I have girls, like, who work out all the time there, and then some who haven't worked out in years, and all of us were dripping in sweat and, like, huffing and puffing by the end. So it's, like, gonna work you out no matter kind of where you're at. You can modify it. I think it's gonna be a great program. So I'm excited about it. So that's kind of cool. I do want to go ahead and jump in to our guest speaker. We're so lucky to have Jen on, taking time out of her busy life. I want to, just a little bit about Jen, and I'll let her share more of her story. But so Jen and we kind of started coaching about the same time. I've actually been a coach a lot longer than Jen. I signed up in 2011. You guys know my story. But I didn't start coaching. Hi, Angie. Welcome. I didn't start coaching until about the same time Jen signed up. So we both had the same upline coach, which is Emma. And we were in a Coach Basics group together. And I was like, okay, I don't know who this girl is, but, like, she's going places. I want to, like, tag along with her. And so I, like, reached out to her and was like, hi, do you want to, like, be a success partner? I don't know what that is, but, like, Emma keeps saying we should get them, and I think you're really cool. And anyways, and she was probably like, okay, girl, like, So we talked on the phone and we kind of just clicked. We have a lot in common. We have like the same religion and things like that. We both were teachers, and she's a lot different than me in that she's really bold. Like ever since she's come to this business, she's bold, she's unapologetic. And I was the opposite. When I came in, I was really like, it's okay. Like I didn't want to offend anyone, and I was so worried what people would think. And so I really have loved that part of Jen, because that is an inspiration to me, because it's totally not how I am. So Jen is, like I said, she is awesome. She's a firecracker. She's a mom of 2 teenagers. She's from Southern California, but she's traveled kind of all over the place, and she has a very inspiring fitness story, which I'll let her share. Let's see. Yeah, Jen is one of those people, like, you just feel like you've known her forever. She knows things about me that no one else knows, and she still likes me. We talk all the time. We talk almost every week, and she just keeps me fired up, and she always has the right thing to say to keep going and not give up. So I love Jen. We are so lucky to have her. She's awesome. So Jen, if you don't mind, I guess the rest of us will go ahead and mute out, and you can take it away.
Okay, here I am. My internet connection will probably go out a couple of times during this call. It just is the way that it is. So if I freeze up, don't panic. Just hold tight for like 10 seconds and I'll be right back. So yeah, well, thanks. I mean, oh man, it's so fun to hear, what other people's perspective of you are, right? Like, it's great to be in Beachbody, because when you hear introductions like that, you're like, really? Like, that's me? No way. Because I definitely have a lot of fears still in this business, and definitely when I came in. So to hear Carrie say that, like, I came in, I am very bold and unapologetic, but yeah, we all have fears, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But I just wanted to kind of add on a little bit about my side of the story with Carrie, because she told her side. So yeah, so Emma was like, oh my gosh, you and Carrie will be perfect together. And, we did talk on the phone a couple times, and I'm always really insecure because I'm like the talkaholic, and I'm kind of bossy, and I'm the oldest, like, in the whole entire SOAR Nation group. And so, I would always get off the phone and be like beat myself up and say like, oh, I think I got out of our call more than she did, and all that mumbo jumbo. And so we kind of stopped. It like kind of evolved to where Carrie and I weren't having like weekly calls anymore, because like literally we were kind of like the blind leading the blind. We were like, what are we supposed to talk about? Like, we were kind of like success partners because to like check a box. But what is so cool is we shared a room together, our first summit, which was Summit. I started coaching in August of 2013. And we went to Summit in 2014. And Carrie and she reached out to me, which I was so glad about. She's like, hey, you want to share a room? And I'm all like, yeah, okay. Well, you guys, that was like what's that glue that like dries really fast and you always like stick your fingers? Super glue. Sharing a room at Summit together was like the super glue that bonded Carrie and I together for life, because we were so like overwhelmed, and it was our first summit, and we were like our eyes were like as big as saucers 24/7. And then we go back to our room and we'd just be like, oh my gosh, we'd stay up till like 2 o'clock in the morning, like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? We want to be on the stage. How are we going to do it? And like, honestly, from that moment on, she's been like my Beachbody bestie. We went on to share a bed together with Leo at our retreat. And, for all of you shy people, you don't have to share a room and a bed and all of that. But it just so happened that like, I was like, I'll share a room with the baby, and it was just awesome. So yes, my whole point of this is you really, really, really need to go out of your comfort zone and go to Summit, go to retreats, go on the Success Club trips. I know it's scary because we have all these virtual relationships, and the magic of Beachbody are these virtual relationships. But here's the thing. When you see each other face to face, like, I'm going to get chills because it's even better. Like I will be face to face with Carrie day after tomorrow, and it'll be like we just saw each other today. It's amazing. I have friends from all over the world, but my Beachbody family is like my biggest support system. And if you've probably already had a feeling of that. So get to Summit, get to Punta Cana next year so that you don't have to be so jealous of Carrie and I going on the cruise day after tomorrow. Just do it. You will not regret it. See, yeah, I'm pretty bold. Okay, so let's get started with, so my story with Beachbody a little bit is I'm 43. I was a late bloomer to, I kind of have the typical story. I'm 4'11". I've always been tiny until the day I got married. Like the second I got married, started packing on the weight. Of course, with each baby, I have two, some more weight came on. If you go to my page, you will look at me in my 30s. I had like short, dorky hair, and I was like this wide. And I looked like I was in my 40s. And now that I'm in my 40s, like I'm not that wide anymore. And people say to me all the time, I have a 17-year-old daughter, and they're like, no way, you guys like, I thought you guys were like friends or something. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying it because that is what 2.5 years of drinking Shakeology does. Like, period. I had people come up. I had a lady who runs like a half a marathon every month. And she came up to me at church the other day and she's like, you glow. She's like, I can just tell that you just eat totally healthy because you just glow. And I'm like, yeah, it's Shakeology. And she's like, she just rolled her eyes and was like, yeah, I eat healthy too. But, it's just the way it is. And so I kind of started on my health journey. I suffered with anxiety and depression, especially right before I became a Beachbody coach. We lived in Beijing, China for 2 years. And the first 6 months of that was like, oh my gosh, it was torturous. The sun does not come out. I was eating food that I didn't like. I was all alone and very, very depressed. But I always really enjoyed exercise. And so my dad told me, he's like, you know what, you need to go to the gym. And I was like, I can't even get out of bed in the morning. What are you talking about going to the gym? But I started going to the gym, and I realized then that I needed to exercise for every day for the rest of my life because of the endorphins, like the natural chemical balancement that it gives me. I'm not good if I don't exercise. Like, I even exercise on Sundays now, some sort of like getting my heart rate up, even if it's just for 22 minutes, because I am pretty unbearable to be around if I don't exercise. So that was kind of my thing, but I wasn't losing any weight. And so when we got transferred back to the US, we got transferred to LA, and we decided to live by the beach, and I knew I was going to have to get a job. And so I had followed Emma Whaley for 2 years on Facebook, and it was actually, she's my same religion. She had lived away from her family. She had healthy in the name of her page. Like, that's literally how I found her. I typed in healthy in the Facebook search thing, and Healthy Emma came up, and my daughter's name is Emma. And so I was like, oh, I'll follow that lady. Little did I know that super insignificant choice was going to rock my world from that moment on. Like, I literally put signing up as a Beachbody coach, getting baptized into the Mormon church, and marrying my husband as like the three pivotal changes, the pivotal changes in my life. And that's how much it has changed me. And so I was invited to a What is Coaching call from a different coach on a different team. And I happened to be online at the right place at the right time. I listened into the call. It was actually Janelle Summers that hosted the call. And I came downstairs and I was like, Mark, this is it. Like, this is two birds with me. I'm going to get healthier and I'm going to freeze. Am I back? So that was the moment that was the moment I decided to join Beachbody. I had to tell that coach that I wasn't going to join her team. She was really great and followed up with me and said, oh, how did you like the call? Are you ready to sign up? And I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to sign up, but with a different coach. I actually reached out to Emma because I felt a connection with her. And I said, hey, I want to join your team. I want to become a coach. And she's like, okay, who are you? And I was a little bit different a lot different than Carrie. My story is very unique in the fact that I had not tried Shakeology. I had not tried a Beachbody workout video. I was still calling P90X, PX90. Like, I just felt that it was right. And so I started coaching from that moment on. Year one was great. Year two was tragic. Last year, 2015, was tragic for me. I thought I was working my business, but really what I was doing is going on a wish and a prayer. And so what I want to bring you through today is kind of the outcome of, I had a great year one. Year two, I got to the end of December 2015, and I'm like, what in the world happened? Like, I did not move my business forward. I worked 365 days this year, and I did not move my business forward, nor my money forward, nor anything forward at all. And so this January, I had a huge reflection of it. And you know what? I've come out way stronger. And now, like, it's already just, it's not even we're not even done with the third, month of the year. And like, I have so much momentum now because I've learned so much from that failure of a year. So let's prevent you from having that type of year as well. I'm going to hit share screen, and I'm going to go into presentation mode. And hopefully you can still see me because I want to hold up two books. Both of these books have been pivotal in my progression. And the first one is called Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. And the subtitle is Turning Mistakes into Stepping Stones for Success. And then the second one is like my new favorite book, Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. And if I would have had Entrepreneur Roller Coaster 2 years ago, my whole business would be different. So if you don't have it, please get it. So, and I'm going to read a little bit out of both of these books. But first, let's talk about your fears. And hopefully you have a piece of paper and a pencil out. And I'm going to actually pause and have you jot down a couple of notes as I ask you these tough questions. I am bold. I'm a tough love kind of gal, and I ask the hard questions. And so these are not rhetorical questions. And if you're welcome, you also know that this is a judge-free, like, safe place. So you're also, very welcome to type in the chat. There's no judgment here. Okay, so question number one. What are you most afraid of right now as a coach? Question number two. What fear is holding you back right now? And question number three. How can you break through that fear? And how can we help? It's really important to know that. It's important to know, first of all, that everybody has fears. I don't care if you're Melanie Mitro, which is the top coach in the business, or all the way to, the new cute coach on this team who signed up 2 weeks ago and just sold her challenge pack. Everyone has fears. Nobody is immune to that. But then on the flip side, there's always help. And one of the things that really changed me as a person in this business is I used to live by fear constantly. Like, I am the baby of my family, and I never lived outside my comfort zone. If it was uncomfortable to me, I didn't do it. For 40 years, you guys. And now I'm addicted to it. I mean, you're not going to see me like jumping off of cliffs or I'm not talking about those kind of fears, but every day I do something that makes me a little bit uncomfortable, because you know what? When you do those things, the results are crazy awesome, and you just feel super empowered. So I want to read to you from Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, page number 213, about what Darren Hardy says about fear. And I'm going to just refer to each of you as an entrepreneur, because that's what you are. You are a business owner. You are not a Beachbody coach. You are an entrepreneur. And he says, every great entrepreneur starts out scared. The entrepreneurs who make it are brave, not because of the absence of fear, but because they put one foot in front of the other and face down that fear every day. Okay, so that's validation right there. You have two choices. You can either do what Darren says, the brave ones who face their fears every day and move forward, or you can turn around and run from it. And Carrie and I have seen a ton of coaches take the latter choice. So I don't think any of you listening to this call or tuning into this call live wants to quit this business. The number one way to not quit this business is to take this challenge and to do something that scares you every single day. So let's see what John C. Maxwell had to say on page 41 in Failing Forward. He says, people who want to get out of the fear cycle often spend time feeling guilty for their inability to change. You can't avoid fear. No magic potion will take it away. And you can't wait for motivation to get you going. To conquer fear, you have to feel the fear and take action anyway. So last night I did a post on I didn't even think about it actually. It was on my like page, and it was a picture of a size of jeans that I got some shorts for the cruise, and they were a size that I've never worn before. At least I can't remember ever wearing that size. And you know, I was a little nervous to post it because mostly the fear was, am I going to make anyone else feel bad? Am I going to alienate anyone? Or am I going to send the message that, you know, small sizes are my goal? So I was very intentional, not about the picture, but of the wording. And I just kind of held my breath and I just said, you know, it's not about the number. That's totally, you know, irrelevant because everybody's number looks different. But what this is about is validation of the hard work that I've been doing and blah, 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 blah. You could go on Jen Bottom to read it. Well, guess what? My like page gets no engagement, no traffic, no reach unless I give it money. Well, guess what? That post has over like 40 likes, just a few comments, but it reached over 1,000 people. And to me, like, I don't get those kind of numbers unless I pay for it. And so that was scary for me. And it just goes to show, like, I literally sat there and I'm like, oh my gosh, it is so true. The things that scare us the most are the things that reaps the biggest rewards. So the challenge for your fears is to do something that scares you every single day. Now, I want you to take a minute and write down something that is scaring you about your Beachbody business right now and something that you are going to challenge yourself to do like ASAP. And it might be posting, you know, a belly shot, or it might be posting your before and afters, or it might be using the word Beachbody in one of your posts because you've been like really kind of shy about it. Okay, So, failure schmelier. One of the biggest fears as a coach is failing, of course, right? But here's the thing, you're gonna fail. We all do. We're gonna fail over and over and over. But that's why you need to read this book. This book made me a better mom, a better wife, a better friend. And if I were still a school teacher, I taught first grade, I would have been a way better teacher after reading this book because it totally retrained my thoughts about failure. We used to think of failure as like a one-time thing. You failed that test, right? No, he teaches us that it's not the test that you fail. You failed in learning the information on the test. So instead of calling it a failure, a one-time thing, what did you learn from that, and how are you going to, move forward from it? So here are the questions I want to ask you. Have you failed at something before? Everybody has failed at something. I failed my permit, my written driver's license test the first time. And then the second question is, are we still here to tell the tale? Yes, of course. I'm a great driver. I have a clean record. So looking back, what good came out of that failure? I want you to think about that. I want you to write it down. There's always something good that comes out of your failures. Last year, I decided to literally work my business on a wish and a prayer. I was like, okay, if I do this, well, that's a whole long story, but it didn't work, right? I came out of the gate this year like, okay, I know that I have to do the business activity tracker every single day and every single week in order to move forward in my business. If I did not fail last year, I would not have that testimony. So we have to fail in order to catapult forward. And, we spend a lot of times on calls and we hear other people's failures, but guess what? We don't really, really, really fully understand until we fail on our own. So just tell yourself right now, it's gonna happen. Page number 53 of Failing Forward says, and if you were listening to the Soar Nation call with Chelsea, this is repetition to you, but I love it and it's worth repeating anyway. Chapter 1, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I fall in. I am lost. I am helpless. It isn't my fault. It takes forever to find a way out. Been there, done that. Not literally, but figuratively. Chapter 2, I walk down the street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I pretend I don't see it. I fall in again. I can't believe I'm in the same place, but it isn't my fault. It still takes a long time to get out. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of my teenagers. Chapter 3, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I see it is there. I still fall in. It's a habit. My eyes are open. I know where I am. It is my fault, and I get out immediately. Chapter 4, I walk down the same street. There's a deep hole in the sidewalk. I walk around it. Chapter 5, I walk down another street. So the point is are you in this Beachbody business short term? Like, are you here to give it 6 months to see if it works out? If that's the case, yikes. Because this is a long journey. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and you're gonna fail. And you're gonna fail a few times over and over, just like that scenario, but you're gonna learn. If you talk to any of the top coaches, or if you listen to the national wake-up calls, holy cow, they will tell you that they have failed more than anybody else because they're still sticking with it. Okay, so your challenge for this one is to read Failing Forward by John C. Maxwell. And I love the quote, you can't let the failure outside you get inside you. Isn't that so true? Isn't it our mind that plays with us? So don't take it personally when you fail. I know it's hard, but go back and listen to this call. So hold on. I should be back. Okay, so why is your why is your superpower. Your why is going to be the thing that keeps you coming back, failure after failure and heartbreak after heartbreak. That's why I love this book, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, because he sometimes I feel like as coaches, we kind of like sugarcoat everything. We're like, this is the best business. Like, it is the best business. You guys, I'm squeezing this call in between getting my nails done for the cruise, going and having a lunch date with my husband who's working from home. I'm talking on your call. Then I'm going to get my hair done for the cruise. And then tomorrow I leave for a cruise. I mean, that is reality. Okay? That is the cool part. But sometimes we don't want to scare people off by saying it's going to be hard. But the book, that's all he does is say it's going to be hard, but worth it. And I love it. And so you should read it. So why did you become a coach? I can tell you why I became a coach. I became a coach, I already told you, to kill two birds with one stone. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted my family to be healthy, and I needed to make some money. But I didn't admit the money part for the first 6 months because I was ashamed and I was embarrassed that I wanted to make money. I thought, oh, I'm materialistic. Oh my gosh, like, you know, it's not a righteous motivation, all that stuff. It took me until last month in February when I got a really great paycheck that it whittled down my why of, I used to be a teacher. I taught for 15 years. I had capped out on the pay chart and I was making over $50,000 a year. Okay. That made me feel like I had worth. Sadly, but true. Like, you know, you go to college, you get a career, money is a validation for hard work and effort, right? When I decided to be a stay-at-home mom, it was totally my choice. I'm so happy that I did it. I didn't know until last month that not contributing to my family finances took a little bit away of my, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, a lot away of my self-worth. And my husband works so hard. He's a CPA. Like, this time of year, he's working 24/7. And it's really hard for me, not him. He's never alluded to it. He doesn't say anything. But for me, my brain has a hard time wrapping around that is our money because I see him doing all the work. So it didn't dawn on me until last month when I got a great paycheck and I was feeling like I earned this. Oh my gosh. Now, it is ego, and I really pray hard to keep my ego out of it a lot. That's a challenge for me, but I felt worth something, that I was being able to pay for my daughter's out-of-state tuition and, you know, all of that. And I look at where we live and I tell myself every day, his job got us here, but my business is going to have us stay here. So that is my why. And it's taken me 2.5 years to whittle it down to where that whole like, oh my gosh, it's really hard to admit. It's really personal. It's really emotional. But to be honest, like, that's why I won't quit. Yes, I love my Beachbody family. Yeah, I don't want to like downplay any of the people that I help. Yes, like, the money really is the icing on the cake. But that, it's kind of like my coach today. She got her first paycheck. Cute. She's been to Iraq. She's an active military, but she just had a baby. And she's like, Jen, I got a $40 paycheck from Beachbody today. And that's the first time I've made any money in 2 years. And I feel amazing. And here she is in Iraq. She has served our country. And that $40 made her feel worth something. So in 1 year, how will this opportunity have changed your life? I know I'm going really long. I'm so sorry, you guys. And you have to think of it that way. You can't say, well, what if it doesn't change my life in 1 year? It will, if you let it. And I'm talking emotionally, physically, monetarily. You know, this has helped our marriage because I gave a really emotional talk at our retreat where you see me maybe as this confident, bold, outgoing, no fear person. But let me tell you, less than 5 years ago, I was not that way. The visualization that I always refer to myself in my brain of how I used to be was in The Little Mermaid, those little tiny seaweed people that Ursula turns the mer people into when she takes something away from them. Like, that's how I was. And here I'm this person because of Beachbody now. So how will this opportunity change your life in 1 year? And what problems does coaching solve for you? Now, you might not be making a ton of money right now, but maybe you get to be home with your children. Maybe you get to walk them to the bus stop. Maybe when you're having a bad day, you know that Carrie is there to give you a word of confidence. You know, look at where the gaps in your life are starting to be filled in with this opportunity. And write them in your journal and share them on Facebook. You don't have to be like, oh my gosh, this is a Beachbody post. But you know, it's like, you see it all the time on our pages. Like, it's not fake. We love what we do. And it's so important that you already feel that, nurture that, grow that, share that, and your business will flippin' boom. So is your why, the why that I just talked about for 20 minutes, hopefully you're thinking of your own why, is your why stronger than your fears? I know that mine are, but it's taken me a long time to get here. And it's okay if you are still formulating your why. Our why is a living, breathing, evolving thing. So don't feel bad if that is a fear of yours. Is my why strong enough? If you need to strengthen your why, if you need to strengthen that, the challenge for this is to do at least 10 minutes of personal development, at least every day, to peel away the layers of your why. And I'm not talking professional development. I'm not talking about, you know, learning how to make a Facebook page or, you know, learning how to hit Success Club. I'm talking about personal development, things that rock your world to the core, books, podcasts. Carrie and I are like personal development junkies, so we can help you find personal development that is for you to strengthen your why. Okay, so I want to end with something really powerful from Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. And this just hit me in the gut. He says, why do some people hit so many home runs while others never get off the bench or strike out at best? He says, becoming world class isn't dependent upon our genes. It's dependent about how much time we consistently dedicate to getting better. We see so many coaches say, I tried, I'm done, I quit, I just can't do it. So you need to make a commitment to just get better. We're not asking you to be perfect. We're not asking you to know everything and do everything right. This is your free pass to just do something a little bit better. If you didn't hit Success Club in February and that was your goal, what are you going to do better this month to do it? If you can't get 10 minutes of personal development in yesterday, what are you going to do today to do a little bit better? That's all we ask. And that, my friends, is the real reason. Okay, here's the question that I want to ask you. I love this. Oh my gosh. Darren Hardy talks about, ask yourself right now, would you want to be doing this on any given Saturday morning? So I want you to visualize your Saturday mornings. And he specifically uses Saturday morning as the day because Saturday mornings are like sleeping in. Maybe, if you're a guy, you like to play golf. Maybe it's time to like stroll down to the bakery and get a bagel with your family, you know, all of those things. Would you rather be coaching on a Saturday morning I'm back. Anyway, I don't know where I popped out, but it was the whole Saturday morning thing. So you have to ask yourself the question, would you rather be doing your job, this business? And remember, he's not talking to us as an employee or someone who's a hobby coach, as an entrepreneur. You know you're in the right place if you want to be doing this on a Saturday morning. So that is what I have for you. And I hope that I got some thoughts going on in your mind. And I hope I didn't scare the daylights out of you. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, Jen, thank you. You guys can see why I love her. I have been thinking about this topic actually a lot. So I'm so glad that you hit on it. So I'm just going to kind of wrap up what Jen said. And actually, do you guys want to ask her any questions before I wrap things up? Or Jessica, it looks like you're unmuting. Are you unmuting?
Yes, I'm trying to find I'm like, where's my mute button? I don't know what's going on. Okay, Jen, so if you could go back to being where I am at now, so your second month, just, feeling everything out, what would you say to yourself knowing where you are now to yourself where I am at and feeling a little overwhelmed and sometimes a little discouraged that the momentum isn't all these people aren't flocking to you and yeah, I want to be in your challenge groups and what would you say to that you?
Yeah, I love this. I know what I would say. So perfect. So I would ask myself, am I complicating things? Because at that time I was really focusing on my like page, and I would say do not focus on your like page. I would say focus on your personal page. And that takes a lot of guts, but the quicker you find those guts, the better off you will be. And then the second thing is I would get really real in asking yourself if you're truly, truly messaging people. Because I think a lot of times, I know with my own personal coaches and even with myself, I count my Facebook posts, calls to action as my invitations, and they're not. Those are like the wide net for your invitations. So I kind of think I've kind of hit the sweet spot to where your posts on, and I forget where I heard this from. It might have been a podcast, but your Facebook posts are like your storefront. So when you're walking down the street in New York City and they have beautiful displays in their windows, those displays in their windows are not to sell to you. Those displays are to invite you into the store. They have not sold anything to you until you have stepped foot in that store. So our Facebook posts are like our windows, inviting people in. But guess what? They're not just going to walk in on their own. We have to message every single day, because you'll hear time and time again on every call, I would have never reached out to that person and joined their challenge group. They reached out to me. Or, I would have never had the guts to reach out to this coach and tell them that I wanted to coach. I've always been curious about it, but until they invited me to learn about it, so those personal invites are the money makers. Dead set. And when I'll tell you, to be totally honest, last year, I was not personally inviting. I was posting on my Facebook page. I was growing my like page. I was not sending personal invitations. So here's the sweet spot. You add new friends every single day. And that's where the snowball starts. Okay. When you add that friend, you send a connection message. Hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. How have you been since high school? Or, oh my gosh, we have 75 friends in common. I knew we probably should be friends. How are you? Something like that, then the snowball starts. And you know what? It might not go anywhere. It might not, but you write their name down because they go on your invitation list next time. So it's all about snowballing. Add those friends, send connection messages, send more, hey, how are you? How was your weekend messages? And then invite, and follow up. And that's going to be your snowball thing. And once you take one of those things out of the momentum, your momentum stops. So that's why on the business activity tracker, that's why I swear by it, because every single one of those middle sections on the back is exactly that. And if you do 3 to 5 of them every single day, you're going to have momentum. But the second you stop adding friends, the second you stop sending connection messages, the second you stop inviting, and the second you stop following up, you're going to lose momentum.
Okay, thank you so much. That was really good. I'm like writing down as fast as I can.
I think that goes back, Jen, to the National Wake Up Call this week. I mean, she talked about focusing on the fundamentals. Like, it's so easy to think like, okay, I want to get a web page up. I want to get a like page. I want to make every graphic look beautiful. But really, it comes down to the basics. Like, are you doing your business activity tracker? Are you doing your workout? Are you doing personal development? Are you connecting with people and inviting them to join you? Like, don't overcomplicate things. Do those things. And I'm right there with you, Jen. Like, last year, I did not have the greatest year. And because I was so focused on all the other things, like, I want to get a website going, and I want to grow my page. And, I wasn't focused on the fundamentals. And it really does show. And they're so simple that we think like, oh, there's got to be more to it than that, but.
And focus on your personal page. You guys, that Soar Nation call with Jatana, when she said she made 7-star diamond she's like, I don't even know how to work a like page. I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm like, why are we freaking out? Yes, we need to grow a like page, but Facebook has so much control over our like pages. Post on your personal page every day.
For sure. Did anyone else have any questions?
Sorry, I'm a total talkaholic. Carrie, you knew that going in.
No, I'm just kidding. I know. I love it. If no one else has any questions, I'm just going to wrap things up a little bit. So I actually was thinking about this all morning, and I've had a really emotional morning, like packing for this free trip. I'm taking my husband and my 3 kids on a cruise to the Jamaica and the Bahamas, like a little stay-at-home mom. Like, I would always I saw Emma go, like Emma and I have been friends for a long time, and I thought like, I can never do that. And I've even told you guys, like, my first year, I didn't even register for the trip because I was like, oh, I could never do that. Like, I had no belief in myself. And so the fact I'm going and I get to bring my 3 kids and my husband, like, I've just been really emotional. And then on top of that, I just got my biggest paycheck today ever. Like, I made more today than my husband makes, you guys. And he is a senior consultant at a really good company, and he works 12 hours a day. And so I've just been like, I don't deserve this. And thinking back to where I started, like, my first year and my second year were really hard. And they're still really hard. And there's still times, like, there were a lot of times where I thought, like, why am I doing this? Like, this is hard.
I can attest to that. I can attest. I've had to talk you off of a couple of cliffs and you've had to talk
Totally. There's been times where I'm like, this is so dumb. Like, why am I doing this? I feel awkward and I feel vulnerable and I'm not going anywhere. I'm not making any money. You guys, my paycheck today was more than I made my first year as a coach. And I made it in 1 week. My whole first year, I made more in 1 week. Okay. Like, I did not make money my first year. Like Jen was saying it, I kept going because I'm stubborn, first of all, and and too prideful to give up. But I knew there was the possibility, and that why, like, I wanted to show my kids you don't quit when things get hard. And that's what kept me going, is I was like, I have to keep going, because what kind of example I'm going to be to my kids? Like, oh, this is hard, so I'm just going to quit, like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. So I kept going, and I got this message yesterday from a challenger. Well, she posted it in our group, but she talked about how her daughter asked her to play tag, and she told her no, and she's like, because I physically can't play tag with her. And she's like, I need your help because I do not want to live my life on the sidelines. And that made me cry, because you guys, there are people out there who literally they can't live life to the fullest, and they need somebody to help them. They need somebody to be that light. And that drives me every single day. Go ahead, Jen.
And those are not the people that are going to message you.
No.
So that's why you need to message people, because there's no way that someone that's feeling like that is going to reach out. So that if you take one thing away from that call, think of that person that Carrie was just describing, and you go find them every day.
Yes. Anyway, so I've just been thinking about my why and how it's evolved to where I started out to where I just needed something for me, because I was I had lost myself in motherhood. I had nothing of my own. And that's why I started out. And what kept me going were my kids. I wanted to be a good example to them that you don't quit. And I wanted to be there for them. And that kept me going. And my why has evolved now to where I've met so many people who are not in good places, and they need somebody to help them. And I am no one special. I don't have any great talents but I care. And I think that's enough. And that what keeps me going now is that why, there are people out there. And like Jen said, the icing on the cake is that paycheck and that free trip. And those things don't just come in your first year as a coach. Ta-da! I have been so successful. It comes when you fail and you cry and you're frustrated, but you keep going, because it does work eventually when you're focusing on the right things and when your why is bigger than that fear. I have done things that I honestly was I would never do that. I posted a picture of my stomach on Facebook, and I was dying. But I'm trying to be real with people and showing them. And people message me all the time and say, thank you for being real. Thank you for helping me to, not give up and things like that. And it's just really so much more than a workout and shake. This business really is so much more. And I think what you said, Jen, the more we know our why and we really connect with what is going to keep me going? Because there are times when you're going to want to quit, and there's got to be something there to keep going. And eventually it does pay off. But like Jen said, it's not always butterflies and free trips and big paychecks. There's paychecks that I still get that I'm they're still good. But they're not I'm super excited about. But anyways, so just to echo what you said, Jen, that why and being able to face those fears regardless, even though you're totally terrified, that does pay off. And sending those messages. And anyways, now I'm just blabbing, but I just appreciate you sharing that, because that has been on my mind all morning, as I've just been so how's this happening to me? And I know it's because my why has kept me going. And like you said, so many coaches give up. Almost I've had probably, I think I have a record for the most coaches on my team who quit, honestly. I feel so many people, they sign up and then they're oh, this is hard. And then they quit. And I just want to tell them just don't give up, because it's so great if you keep going. The payoff is there. You just got to have faith and trust the process and put yourself out there and pray that you're going to find those people who need you, that are completely miserable in their lives, and they just need somebody who believes in them. Anyways, okay. Well, that's really all I had to say. So if anyone else had any other questions or thoughts or anything like that, we are right at 4:30, so we are perfect. No one? Shannon, Bomarito, Emerald Coach. Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you. I hope to keep it up.
You will. You're doing so great. You will. Anyways, you guys are all awesome. So, no one else?
No. One of these days we have to combine our teams because I have a fun team too. And I have a feeling that, you know, there could be some success partners among teams too.
Oh, totally. I mean, anytime you want to invite us to the beach for a team retreat, I mean, I'm pretty sure we might.
Well, you know, October Super Saturday.
Oh, yeah. You said you're doing a team retreat in October?
Yeah. So, but no, seriously, you guys, is any of you going to Summit?
I am.
Because part of the fun part about Summit is like getting to know people. And so Carrie and I, you know, would love, or, you know, so that we could all get to know each other. I'm all about the more the merrier.
For sure. For sure. And going off with that, like, I think, you know, my first year I treated this as a hobby and it got paid as a hobby. I didn't go to events. I didn't do my invites. I just did posts and I hoped people would respond. But I think that was one of the big things that changed is I never miss an event now. Like I do not miss Super Saturday. I do not miss team calls. Like I am there because I have a lot I need to learn. And if there's somebody who knows what they're doing, who's where I want to be, who's willing to tell me, like, why would I not listen? Like, that's just crazy. So totally, like Super Saturdays, all those things, like put them on your calendar and make an effort to go because they're always worth it. So that was off topic, but you distracted me, Jen. So, okay, you guys, just so you know, next week I will not be here, but I'm still going to have the Zoom link up. It's a mastermind session. Thursdays, so next Thursday will be a mastermind. So I'm going to open the link for you guys so you guys can still get on and you guys can talk with each other and still share ideas and, you know, like we normally do for our mastermind. So come with the things you're doing well, what's working for you, come with what you're struggling with and try to get advice from everyone. And then share any like aha moments you've had from your personal development, from the National Wake Up Call. And I know you guys can do this without me. Y'all don't need me. So
and you guys do that because honestly, Carrie, sometimes when Emma doesn't show up, sometimes those are the best calls.
Oh, totally. Because it's the leaders. We talk too much. We think we need to lead our team.
And you know, sometimes you hold back because you're like embarrassed that your leader is there. So really, really use that opportunity for you guys to gather together and be like, okay, Carrie's not here. Like seriously.
Hallelujah.
Like, how are you feeling? Like, is anyone else struggling with this? That is so powerful.
Totally. I so agree with that. I always laugh because Jen and I always like, Emma just talks the whole time on our calls. And then when I get on the calls, I talk the whole time. And I'm like, I'm totally doing that. But now, like, when you're the leader, you just feel like you don't want to show up like, anyways. You guys, yeah, use that time to talk with each other. And
oh my gosh. I have sent Emma so many messages of, I'm so sorry I was so mean to you. Because now that, like, I have a team, I'm, like, mean to my coaches.
oh,
or, like, not mean, but, like, you know, I'm doing the same things that Emma did to me that used to tick me off. I'm doing them to my coaches now. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's like, you understand when you're a parent why your parents did certain things, and it's the same thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. So anyways, okay, ladies, thank you so much for hopping on. You guys are the best, and we will see you later.
Have so much fun on your cruise.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.